I'm a fan.
And welcome to Tracking the Wolves. I'm Blake Day with NSU Athletics. Let's get some past results. The NSU women's basketball team came up a little short in the first round of the NCAA regional tournament last Friday to Central Missouri, falling 82-69. Rachel Krogman and Allison Kusler had 17 points apiece to lead the Wolves. Kusler finishes her NSU career with a fine all-around game as she added 6 rebounds and 5 assists for Northern, and she finishes her career with 1,289 points, which is 15th all-time in NSU history. The NSU women finished the year with an overall record of 24-7. The NSU baseball team went 6-4 on their trip down to Arizona. The Wolves went 4-3 against teams in the NSIC. In NSU's last series of the trip saw them playing Bemidji State. The Wolves won the opener 5-0 and Game 2 12-1. Cody Johns pitched a complete game for NSU in Game 2 against Bemidji as he allowed just 4 hits while striking out 4 in the victory, as he improved to 1-1 on the year. The NSU softball team was down in Florida last week as they went 4-4 on their trip. The week was full of ups and downs for the Wolves, going 1-1 each day of the trip. Now, Cami Smesmo pitched well for the Wolves down in Florida with a record of 3-1, while she recorded 13 strikeouts. And Erin Yancey played in all 8 games, and she led the Wolves in batting average, batting .381. That's it for past results. We'll be right back with an interview with women's assistant basketball coach, Elena Benson.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Welcome to this portion of Tracking the Wolves. I'm Associate Athletic Director Zach Flackus, and my guest today is Elena Benson. She's the Assistant Women's Basketball Coach for the Wolves. Coach, how are we doing today?
Great.
Appreciate you coming on the show. I know Coach Fredericks knew you guys just got back from the regional tournament. How was the trip down there?
Very interesting. They chartered us right down to Searcy. Kind of felt like celebrities. We were the only ones on the plane. It was a lot of fun, a great experience for the kids. And, I'm really hoping that we can make it back there again someday.
It was a great experience, I know, for the team. Before we get into the games, I want to talk a little bit about you and your background. This is your first year at Northern. Northern's had a long tradition. We've got a couple of national championship banners hung for women's basketball. How's your experience been? I know you came, 4 years of Presentation College as the head basketball coach.
Yep.
How's your experience been this first year with Coach Frederickson and the Wolves?
It's been a great experience. It's definitely the right move for me. Starting out, I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. And Coach Frederickson has, been a great motivator. He's really helped me out through this whole transition process over the season. So it's really been a great experience, and just working with the kids every single day is something that I really do enjoy.
Well, and as a basketball purist, I think did you graduate from University of Minnesota Morris?
Yes.
Played basketball there?
Yep.
As, the basketball purists in the area, Northern basketball it's kind of a little old school, the way Coach Frederickson does. Runs a lot of sets, a lot of plays. Now, were you familiar with that type of offense, or do you always run a motion offense?
No, it was pretty much all motion offense. That's what I played through college, and so that's what I knew, that's what I coached. Obviously you always have your quick hitters when you need a quick shot. But, getting into running set plays every single time down the floor, that was a huge transition for me. And I don't know all of them yet, but I'm getting there. There's a lot to learn, but Coach Fred has really helped me out with that.
Well, and Coach Fredrickson, he's still one of the holdovers. He runs a junior varsity program, and I know you got to travel with your JV team. Did you run his sets? Did you run little motion? When you got to be the person calling the shots, what type of offense did you run?
We ran all of his sets, but we really look to push the ball a little bit more than what you would normally see in a varsity game.
Sure.
So that was my way of kind of putting my philosophy into it, is just, running up and down the court with them.
Well, and the nice thing about this year's team is I think Coach Fredrickson had a lot of talent, he had a lot of size, so you guys could really focus on the defensive end. Offense, you got to outscore the opponent to win, but I think a lot of the year you guys held the opponent to so few points that your offense really didn't have to do a lot of work. What's the key behind a good defense?
Well, you have to have everybody on the same page. You have to communicate to one another. If one person is off, it kind of screws the entire defense up. So for the most part, all season long, everybody was on the same page. We knew what we were going to do defensively. And like you said, you don't really have to worry about scoring points as long as it's more than the opponent, obviously. But biggest thing is you have to stop other teams, and that's what we did.
Well, and in the NSIC, we've got 16 teams, and it seems like the level of competition continues to go up, but also the variety in the programs. We ended up winning the North Division this year, tremendous accomplishment. I think we were picked 5th in the North, and then we were 2nd overall in the conference, and I think we were picked 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere in there. As you look at 16 teams in our conference this year and us finishing so high, what's the competitive level like? I mean, Concordia St. Paul, what did they finish in the conference this year? Did they finish 6th, 7th, 8th?
They were right kind of in the middle.
End up winning our conference tournament to get the automatic bid. If they wouldn't have won, would they have got the bid to the regional?
No.
They end up going on to the regional, and they win the regional.
Yep.
They're moving on to the Elite Eight with a team that was, 18-10 or something at the end of the year, and now they've gone on a pretty good run, won the last 6 games for sure in a row, even before that. How do we compare to Concordia St. Paul? I know we lost to them in the
tournament,
NSIC tournament.
Yep. When we played them during the regular season, it was a home game for us, which that's always a huge advantage for any team. But we really played well against them. Our defense was great against them. When we went into the tournament, we still played good defense. We just, we struggled shooting, and that was the biggest reason that they beat us. I mean, they're a very good team, but it's kind of tough to be back here in Aberdeen now, and that there's a team that's going to make the Elite Eight, and you've beat them before.
Well, and it just shows how much talent and how good our team was this year. Let's talk a little bit about the regional. We end up getting 2nd. We lose in the championship of our conference tournament. We advanced the regional. We end up with the number 6 seed, I believe.
Yep.
Played Central Missouri. I think they were top 10 in the nation at the end of the year.
Yep.
What was the mindset going into that game? How did you feel? How did the team feel about playing Central Missouri?
We were very confident. We watched a lot of game film on them. We knew that we could beat them. They're a very beatable team. They're a very good team. But we knew that if we played our defense and we played our game, that we were going to be all right. But offensively, we struggled a little bit again, and because our defense was all right. They had some really quick guards, kind of caught us off guard a little bit, but it was just offensively we just couldn't get everything put together, and that's kind of what hurt us there in the end during that game.
Well, and again, it seemed like the defense was there. You guys had the size, quickness, speed. There was kind of 2 games in a row there, that NSIC championship game, the regional game, where we just lost our shooting ability, it seemed like. You end up graduating Allison Kusler, tremendous career at Northern. You graduate Katrina Kierstead, another senior. Not as big a role, but she was a lot more of a leader off the court, really helped the team. You return the rest of your team, you've got a lot of talent. What's the off season look like? What are you bringing in for recruits? What are the expectations going into next year?
Off season, we'll start here in a couple of weeks with individual workouts. Lifting again, we need to get stronger, especially inside. We have some big post players, but we need to get a little bit more muscle on them so they can push other people around. As far as recruits coming in, we have Miranda Ristow from Warner.
Oh, sure.
Big 6'2" post. She will really help us out So it'll be nice to get those kids on campus. And Jill Conrad, she's from Centennial High School, so teammates with Paige Watashik.
Continue that tradition out of Centennial.
Yes, exactly, a little pipeline there. So, she's a 5'11" forward. She can shoot the ball outside. So, it's kind of like having a Megan Muchler.
Oh, wow.
You can go inside and out and hard to defend. So
that's a good comparison. That's it just seems like the team we've got this year, we're so big, but then you get into some of those athletic type athletes, and I put Megan in that category where she can run the floor, she can shoot, she can defend. I think she might have been all defensive team in the NSIC. So it sounds like you guys really return a lot and really high hopes for coming into this next year.
Yes.
Coach, with that, I'm going to let you get back to recruiting. Will you get to watch some NCAA basketball over the next couple of weeks?
I will.
Good. Got a favorite on either the men's or the women's side that you think is going to win it all?
Oh, well, I'm a huge Duke fan, so I always think that they're going to win it. But
now, do they still have basketball at Duke? I'm a Carolina fan. So Coach, with that, I'm going to let you run.
All right.
This has been Zach Flackus and assistant women's basketball coach Elena Benson for Tracking the Wolves.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
With commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Joining us today from the Wolves women's basketball team, we have our two seniors. We have Allison Kusler and Katrina Kerstead. I've been messing that up for these last couple of years here. But both, thank you for joining us today. Just kind of a season recap, review, 24-7 overall. So congrats on a very successful season. 17-5 in the conference, an undefeated 14-0 record at home, which is extremely impressive. The North Division champions, so congrats on that as well. We'll kind of talk about, and obviously most teams really don't have a good ending to a season, unless you're really cutting down the nets. Losing to Concordia St. Paul in the conference championship game, and then going to the NCAA regional and losing to Central Missouri there. Let's just kind of talk about really the season in itself. Kind of break down the season, what you guys saw from the team throughout, how you guys started out and really just grew as a team throughout the year. We can start with Allison here.
At the beginning of the season, we set goals for ourselves, and one was to have a home playoff game, which we had that, and then win as many games as at home as we can. And we went 14-0, so we couldn't have done that any better. And then, like I said, with that home playoff game, try and make it to the conference tournament and just go as far as we can. And we definitely did that this year. And for Katrina and I, we got to go to Regions our freshman year in Durango, Colorado. So we haven't been there since. So I think as seniors, that was something really important to us. And, for me, I know that this year was awesome, going out my senior year. I don't think I could have asked for anything better. So it was definitely a memorable year for me.
The year we set a lot of goals, and main thing we write on the board everywhere we go is just one team. And this year was just focused on building the team as one. And I think with the season going on, we just kept growing and building our weaknesses into strengths. And it showed by every time we came and played at home, we played hard, and making it to the conference tournament and making it to the championship of that, and then going on to Regions. It was just, and overall, to me, it was a successful season. It's hard to lose in the Regions, but I'm proud of the team, and I couldn't have asked for a better end to my senior year.
Well, let's kind of talk about the preseason rankings. I know people say, "Oh, we don't read too much in preseason rankings. We don't care," but I mean, preseason ranked 9th in the conference, 5th in the North. Obviously, you guys look into that a little bit, and it motivates you a little bit to winning the North. And I mean, the last ranking I saw where you were 19th in the country. So I mean, you go from being ranked 9th preseason, 5th in the North, to winning the North and being a top 20 program in the country. Just kind of talk about that. We can start with Katrina on that. I mean, what does that fuel you guys a little bit, or how did you really take that to the beginning of the year, and did it help throughout the year?
We did use it as fuel. It was hard to see that we were 9th because we had basically the same. We only had lost 2 seniors, and we had the same team coming back, and we hung a poster in our locker room, so every time you entered it, you saw that 9th ranking, and so then it drove you every day to make sure that every day we have to know that we're going to get ranked higher and higher, and we have to work harder and harder to get higher in those rankings, and it proved by the end of the season by being 19th in the country. So, yeah, it did fuel us a lot.
Yeah, it was definitely a motivator. You know, when Coach read that off or we saw it come out in preseason, I think a lot of us were kind of disappointed. We knew we have a veteran group coming back this year, and so, yeah, like Katrina said, we use it as a motivator, as fuel every day, and we hung that poster up in our locker room and just knew that we needed to give it everything we had because we knew we were better than 9th and 5th in the North, and you know how our season went, it turned out we really were. So hopefully for next year they kind of look back at this season and realize again there's a lot of people coming back.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your 2 trips. And not a real far trip to Sioux Falls, but talk about what it was like going down there for the conference tournament. You guys were down there for a number of days, playing in the Pentagon. I don't think only the men had played in the Pentagon prior to that. So talk about that. Really, just a really cool atmosphere and a great arena there. And then talk about the trip to Searcy. You know what it's like. Going down there for the regions and really just about the experience in itself.
Okay. Sioux Falls. Like you said, it's not that far. We've played down there at Augie before, and the first time at the Pentagon was really neat. It's a pretty cool atmosphere, and I think that first day on Saturday when we played Augie, we knew, we had a little revenge against them because they had beat us just a few weeks prior to that down there, and it was a really cool atmosphere starting off the whole tournament. We were the first game between girls and guys, so the first game of the tournament, and there's a great crowd for us and a great crowd for Augie, and I think we won by 4 or 6, and it really came down to the end. And I think, honestly, that win and the Mankato win at conference when we won by 1 point were probably 2 of the biggest wins of the year, beating Mankato twice, and then just getting those 2 wins was definitely, to me, I thought, a great way to go out, against 2 really good teams. Obviously we made it to the championship and it didn't go the way we wanted it to, but making it that far and, like I said, just getting there, playing Augie, Mankato, and then Concordia, 3 of the top teams in the whole league, was definitely an accomplishment for us. And on Tuesday we had a great crowd there. A lot of people came down, and like I said, it just was one of those nights that we didn't shoot as well, and Concordia, I really think, is peaking at the right time right now. The whole conference tournament, they just won the region last night, and so they're going to go to nationals, and so they're a tough team to beat. But we were proud of ourselves and for making it that far, and that was really fun down there.
You want me to do Arkansas? Yeah. Okay. I guess making it to Arkansas, the big clincher was beating Mankato in that conference tournament because, we still had the selection show and we were on edge with seat. We were head-to-head with Mankato and us. So I'm really happy that we beat Mankato in the conference. And then going down to Arkansas, it was a long trip. The private plane there was fun. The landing was a little rough. But we got down there and we practiced hard for 2 days. But the team, Central Missouri, was they had an All-American team, or a girl on their team, and we just didn't shoot as well in the first half, and we came back, but it just wasn't quite enough. They're just a really good team. But the whole experience overall in Arkansas, it was fun to have everyone there, and we got to eat out at some pretty good places, and I don't know, it was a good experience.
And that's what it's all about, is just kind of enjoying the experience.
Yeah.
Let's kind of wrap things up a little bit, talking more just about you two. Individually. Obviously, as seniors, kind of looking back on your career, what kind of, any lasting memories, something that really stands out in your mind? I know Allison's going to talk about the tunnel which you got, because I'm pretty positive that's why we went undefeated at home this year.
Yeah.
So that's just an unfair advantage for anybody coming into Walks Arena. But kind of talk about anything that really sticks out in your mind over the last, 4 years for you two.
For me, being from Aberdeen, it's pretty cool to be able to play in Walks Arena and at the Barnett Center. And yeah, the tunnel's awesome. I tried to get it at the conference tournament, but it wasn't quite big enough. But yeah, just our crowd, I know that's a well-known thing for Aberdeen and at Northern. When we have people coming on the road with us, it always feels like a home game almost, even though when you're on the road, when you have such a big crowd and a lot of people that follow you, it's such an honor, and it's really neat, and I think it helps us on the road. So yeah, just sad, and the last 4 years has been really special for me, and I've been fortunate enough to stay pretty healthy for those years, and that's one reason why I am done this year instead of going an extra year because of an injury or something. But that's been another thing. It's not that easy to stay healthy, especially at the college level. So that's been something I've been fortunate enough to not really have to deal with. So
I guess my experience is a lot different, but my biggest thing was just being part of something that's bigger than myself. You're never gonna, I go to all these other colleges when we play and stuff, and you just come to the BC and you have the experience of, you have the community that comes, the support, the fans, then all the students are just a big part of it, and then I have my family, the basketball girls, it's made my 4 years really incredible at NSU, and overall, I wouldn't ask for anywhere else to go. You just can't ask for anything better. But yeah, so it's just been fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's kind of wrap it up with this. Kind of turning the page now, basketball career being done here. First of all, congrats to both of you being named to the NSIC All-Academic Team.
Thank you.
So obviously we talked about the student-athlete part of it, so congrats on that. And let's kind of talk about, we'll wrap it up with, what are your future plans? Now with basketball season being over, we can start with Katrina. Kind of what's the future plans here?
Well, as of right now, I'm still in the process of graduate school. I'm hoping to get into somewhere in Arizona or Washington is kind of what I'm going for. I want to do nutrition, and I'm also now looking into accelerated teaching program to possibly do biology teaching. It's new, but yeah. Okay. Other than that, I really don't know. Just trying to finish out these days before graduation, counting down those. So, yep.
I'll go an extra semester and graduate in December. I'll student teach this fall. So for me, I'll probably look at a job around somewhere in South Dakota or Minnesota. And then I have a minor in coaching, so I'd really like to coach too, high school or college. So.
Okay. Well, best of luck to both of you, and
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. And congrats on a really successful season.
Thanks.
And we'll be right back with the upcoming events.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
And welcome back to Tracking the Wolves. Northern State junior women's basketball player Rachel Krogman was named to the Daktronics Central All-Region team last week by the region's sports information directors. Krogman, who was a second-team All-NSIC honoree, was second on the Wolves this season, averaging 15.5 points per game, and Krogman's 10 rebounds per game led the team and were the third best mark in the NSIC. Northern State's Macy Engel for Wolves softball and Matt Stubbs for Wolves baseball have been named as the Qdoba Scholar Athletes of the Week for their academic and athletic efforts this past week. Ingalls started all 8 games for the Wolves in the Rebel Spring Games from Winter Haven, Florida this past week. She went 6 from 21 from the plate with 4 doubles and 1 home run. She compiled 6 RBI with a .286 batting average and a .619 slugging percentage. She's the only Wolf in double-digit total bases with 13 in the 8 games. Stubbs was 6 of 17 from the plate for the Wolves with a .353 batting average. He recorded 3 RBI and 5 runs scored with a .421 on-base percentage. 2 of his 6 hits went for doubles, so congrats to our Kudo Athletes of the Week. Upcoming events, the NSU softball team returns north for a few days of practice before heading to Topeka, Kansas to take on Washburn University on March 19th, with time still to be determined. The Northern baseball team opens NSIC play this weekend as they travel to Sioux Falls for a 4-game set with Augustana. The Wolves and Vikings will play doubleheaders both Saturday and Sunday. First pitch is set for 1 p.m. both days. For up-to-date information, schedules, results of Northern State University athletics, go to our website at northernstatewolves.com. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and go Wolves.